Communications here at the Association of Nutrition and Food Service Professionals. We at ANFP are very excited to speak with you today regarding ANFP approved training programs and the CDM credentialing exam eligibility pathways. Our speaker today will be Cindy Zemko, Director of Education at ANFP. This presentation should last around 20 minutes, and we will leave some time for questions at the end. If you have a question, please type them into the chat feature through GoToMeeting, and we will read them. During the course of the next 20 minutes, we will learn about the growing demand for Certified Dietary Manager, Certified Food Protection Professionals, the CDM credentialing exam eligibility pathways, and the process to become an ANFP approved training program. With that, let me introduce Cindy Zemko.
Thank you, Brad. I'm glad all of you could join me today to learn more about the pathways of eligibility for the CDM exam and about becoming an ANFP approved program. The demand for CDMs is growing. A lot of this growth is due to recent regulations, and in September of 2016, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid issued its final regulations that long-term care facilities must have a qualified professional as the director of food and nutrition services, like that of the Certified Dietary Manager. The CDM CFPPs are qualified professionals who are experts at managing food service operations and ensuring food safety. They are responsible for implementation of menus, food service purchasing, and food preparation. They apply nutrition principles, document nutrition information, manage work teams, and much more. They truly are a leader in the food service industry. So what are the eligibility requirements to sit for the CDM exam? We're going to take a look at the different pathways. Although we will be focusing on pathway 1, we'll take a few minutes just to review all the pathways of eligibility. So to be eligible to sit for the exam, you need to meet the requirements of one of the 5 pathways. Pathway 1 is for candidates who have graduated from the ANFP approved Food Service Manager Training Program. Hotel Restaurant Management degree. Candidates must have completed a minimum of 1 course in nutrition and 2 courses in food service management. Pathway 3 is for graduates of a comprehensive 90-hour food service course curriculum who also have 2 years of institutional food service management experience. They must provide the transcripts to include a minimum of 1 course in nutrition and 2 courses in food service management. Pathway 4 is for our military food service. So this is for current and former members of the U.S. military who have graduated from the approved military food service manager training program and have attained the grade of an E5. Again, you must submit documentation, and exam fees may be reimbursable through the Montgomery GI Bill. Pathway 5 is for candidates who hold an alternate 2-year, 4-year, or higher degree. Candidates must have a minimum of 5 years of institutional food service management experience and must also complete 1 course in nutrition and 2 courses in food service management. So we're going to take a closer look at Pathway 1. This is our most popular pathway. The requirements for this are 120 hours of didactic education and 150 hours of field experience. And we're going to take a little closer look at those requirements in a moment. So what are some of the benefits of being an ANFP approved training program? Well, your program will be listed on our ANFP website with a link to the college, and it's one of the most popular areas of our website. You'll also receive a complimentary Nutrition and Food Service Edge magazine subscription for the training program administrator, director, and faculty. This is a very popular member benefit as well. Quarterly newsletters and communication with updates on the training program, and that again goes to all faculty, directors, and administrators. And we also provide some brochures and marketing material that you can use to market your program. So how do you become an approved program? So the process is there's a requirements document that needs to be completed, and once completed, that's submitted to ANFP for approval. The approval lasts for 5 years, after which the program needs to be resubmitted for renewal, and that would need to be under the most current requirements. The approval and renewal process takes about 90 days from the receipt of the program submission here to ANFP. So the requirements include 4 components of learner success. They are organizational culture, college accountability, academic and learning outcomes, and program measures and improvements. So we're going to take a little bit closer look at each of these. And I do want to note that this isn't going to include all the requirements that I'm going to talk about. I'm just going to kind of highlight and overview some of the main points, and you can refer to the requirements document itself for the full list of requirements. So ANFP training programs are approved in post-secondary accredited colleges recognized by the Council for Higher Education Association or the United States Department of Education. This Requirement 1 section also states the faculty and program director requirements. Faculty are qualified professionals with at least 2 years of practitioner competency with teaching responsibility at the college. All the nutrition and medical nutrition therapy areas must be taught by a registered dietitian nutritionist. The program director must either be an RDN, LDN, or a professional educator with a background in nutrition, healthcare, and/or food service. Requirement 1 also includes how the program is designed for maximum learner success and program communication to students and with ANFP. Requirement 2 mainly covers how the college supports learners outside the classroom. And this includes how they support students with the required field experience hours, assisting with the process and identifying preceptors. This also covers the admission testing and process. Requirement 3 includes the curriculum and required content areas. Also the online readiness for any of those courses that are online or for online programs, how learners are supported through a learning community, and faculty and advisory commitment to the program's goals. So to look a little more closely at Requirement 3 and the curriculum, the required hours for classroom, as I mentioned, is 120 classroom hours or contact hours. The curriculum is separated into 2 major classroom components. They are nutrition concepts and medical nutrition therapy, and there's 12 subtopics under that correspond to the major categories on the exam. And then the second component is the managing food service and food safety. That includes 24 subtopics. The required field experience hours are 150. These are assigned by the same units of study as the classroom hours. Of the 150, 50 of these hours need to be precepted by a CDM, CFPP, a DTR, or an RDN. And just to note that 25 of the 27 nutrition hours, there's 27 nutrition hours that need to have a field experience, 25 of those must be precepted by an RDN. So how are these required hours determined? These are based on the exam content outline. The exam content outline was developed from a detailed job analysis study conducted by the Certifying Board for Dietary Managers, which gathered information about the tasks performed by dietary managers across the country. These are the knowledge and skill areas in the exam content outline that are deemed necessary for entry-level practitioners to be competent in the field of dietary management. So requirement 4. This includes how the program is assessed for learner success, describing the process that focuses on review of the evaluation and adjusting based on that review, and finally how the learner's success is publicized. So that kind of covers the requirements document. So our current programs, we have a variety of programs. Some are 100% online, some are 100% in the classroom. We have a few correspondence courses, which can be done through mail. And then we also have hybrid, which may include some online portion and some classroom portions. We have all those programs currently. We also have programs that may include a 2-year program, which can be combined with this, or they're just a certificate only. So moving on to the fees. So for your initial program review fee is $150, which is due upon your submission of the requirements. Once approved, the 5-year renewal fee is $100, and then there is an annual maintenance fee, and this is dependent on the number of students that you have annually in your program. So those are stated here on the slide. We also have 2 published textbooks. Exam questions are based on the material found in these 2 textbooks, Nutrition Fundamentals in Medical Nutrition Therapy, and Food Service Management by Design. The sanitation and food safety related questions are also not only based on this, but also on the most recent FDA food code. We also have designed curriculum that is available to be incorporated into your program. This curriculum can be purchased as a bundle that includes nutrition and food service management, or the nutrition curriculum can be purchased separately. This curriculum includes assessment tasks, worksheets, review questions and answers that emulate the CDM exam. They include case studies, there's PowerPoints for each chapter, along with a variety of learning aids. So that kind of covers the eligibility and the requirements in more detail, and I know we're going to be opening up for questions. Just wanted you to know that if there's a particular question that you may have about your current program and how that fits into an approved program or other pathways, we'd be happy to discuss those one-on-one. I know my email will be provided at the end of the webinar. But I thank you for your time, and I hope this was helpful, and I think we're going to open it up for some questions.
All right, thank you, Cindy. We're going to take about 30 seconds here just to gather some of the questions, and we'll start answering them then. Okay, well, so we have a couple questions here. The first one that came in, is there a defined scope of practice for CDMs?
Yes, we do have a scope of practice that is defined. You can find that complete document. It's on our Certifying Board for Dietary Managers website, which is cbdmonline.org, and it can be found under resources.
There were also a couple questions on here about receiving these slides. We will certainly email this PowerPoint to everybody who was on the webinar today. Two courses in food service management and what that means. Are those, that was asked, are those two college courses, and could we clarify the units hours needed?
Yeah, those would be college courses. There's not a specific credit hour that needs to be defined for those, but that would need to be an actual from a post-secondary college.
There's also a question on where the current forms for applying are.
So we have a requirements document that can be made available to you. It's best to contact us directly. We can send you those forms. We can actually provide you even more information on some samples of textbooks that would actually include the scope of practice. So I know my email is going to be provided. It's probably best to reach out to us, and we can get you that information and get that requirements document over to you.
Okay, another question was asking about Pathway 3 and if we can go a little more in-depth regarding that.
Yeah, Pathway 3 is for the 90-hour comprehensive food service program. And again, that would have to, a transcript would have to be provided to show that that is 90 hours of the contact or classroom hours. Would have to show the 1 course in nutrition and 2 courses in food service management. They would also have to provide employment verification that they have 2 years or more of that food service management experience, and that's an institutional food service management. So they provide not only a transcript, but the employment verification along with that.
There was also a question on Pathway 2, and if we could go a little more in-depth about that.
Okay. So again, for applying under Pathway 2, they would be asked to provide a transcript that would show their graduation and completion of that 2-year or 4-year program in the various areas of hotel, restaurant, culinary, nutrition, or food service. On that transcript would have to include the 1 course in nutrition and 2 food service management. So we would look at those transcripts to make sure that those requirements are met.
Another question is, we are developing a course that will cover nutrition and sanitation. Can it be a team taught by both an RDN and a CDM, or does the entire course need to be taught by an RDN?
This could be taught by both, as long as the competencies of the nutrition is covered by the RDN, and then the competencies of the sanitation can be covered by the CDM.
Okay. Well, I think that's what we're going to do for questions here. If you, like Cindy said, if you have more specific questions to your program, I'm going to have her contact info on here in just a second. But we wanted to wrap up this webinar and just go over a quick recap. We covered the CDM credentialing exam eligibility pathways, which you can learn more about at www.cbdmonline.org. We also reviewed the requirements to become an ANFP approved training program. If you are interested in moving towards becoming an ANFP approved training program, or you would just like more information, here is Cindy's email address. It's czemko, Z-E-M-K-O, @anfponline.org. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your busy day to learn about ANFP approved training programs. We hope you came away from today with a greater knowledge of the exam eligibility pathways and the training program process. As mentioned, we will certainly send the PowerPoint slides out to everybody who is in attendance, and that will end this webinar. Thank you.